This is the third version of contains duplicate problem, and here there are more constraints than earlier versions. So here we have two more constraints. It's called T and K. So let's see what are these constraints. So we are given an array of integers, and we have to find whether there are two distinct indices I and j. So I and j cannot be same, such that absolute difference of the values at those indices is at max t. So not exactly duplicate, but difference can go up to t, not more than that. And the difference between indices can be at most k. So for example, in this case, k is 3. That means you are allowed to find two indices which are at max 3 indices apart. In this case, the size is 4 only, so you can look from 1 till here. So let's take look at another example. So here k is 2. That means you can go up to 2 indices. If you start from index I, you can go up to I plus 1, I plus 2. So if we look I plus 1, the difference is 4, but the maximum allowed difference is 3. So it's not valid. So we will look for another index. So first index we fix, and then we looked this. Now we will look this. So difference is 8, again more than this. So we did not find it. And now from 0 we cannot search here or anywhere here, since maximum difference is 2. So next we can start from here and find its different with next. So here difference is 4, more than this. Again look between this and this, difference is 4, more than this. Similarly, you will see that you will not find any such indices I and j for which difference is less than t and index are closer than k. So in this case we return false. In these cases you will find that. So how we can solve this problem? So this is the same problem that we just saw, and here it returned false. Now let's say k was 3 instead of 2. So that is, if we are here, I is here, then you can skip 2 indices and j can be here. So this is allowed. When k was 2, it was like I then j. You can go maximum till this or ij. These are the only two cases. Now we have this case, and this case. Now you can find such value. How? Here difference between this and this is 4, this and this is 8, this and this is 0. So you can take this index, this as the I, and this as the j. Difference between ith and jth value is 0. So it's less than t, so that is valid. And the difference between I and j is 3, which is also allowed. So now it should return true. So what we will do, we will start from beginning. So we will have one loop, I equal to 0 to n minus 1, and j will be from I plus 1. Since distinct j is there, j will not start from I, but rather I plus 1. And we will continue until j is less than I plus 1 plus k. And we do j plus plus. But we don't need to go all the way up to here. If we find some value in between whose difference is less than k, less than equal to k, then we return true immediately. So here we will check if, but here we are not adding any check for n, so you can add additional check for n. So j should be less than n. This is understood. If it's more than n or equal to n, then break. Look for the next value of I. So here we will check if difference of this, let's call it ai minus aj. If this is less than equal to t, then return true. And for none of these cases we return true, then finally we will return false. And here make sure that this is not out of bounds. Maybe this is a very large negative value and this is a very large positive value. Then this may go out of bounds for integers. So especially for C++ people, you can cast one of these to long, and then automatically long operation will happen, and then finally it will do check with this t. So let's write the code for this, and what should be the time complexity here. So this outer loop is n, and inner loop maximum it can go up to k values. in the worst case. So order nk, time complexity, and a space. We are not using any other too many auxiliary variables, some constant, so O of 1. So let's write the code for this in C++ and Python. I will skip Java for this. You can easily convert from C++ to Java. So let's try. And here we are getting a wrong answer. So this is a large value, and if you subtract this minus this, then it will go out of bounds of integer. So let's cast one of these. Or let's copy this test case. Now this is correct. So we will not need this in Python. So time limit is exceeded, and so one case may be that t is 0. So t is 0 is equivalent to the exact duplicate. So you need to find the exact duplicate, and all the elements are distinct. So that is one of the cases. So you have to find exact duplicate t is 0, but all the elements are distinct. In that case, let's say we have a very large such test case, then it will unnecessarily fail. So it's better to check that beforehand, how many unique elements are there. If all the elements are unique and t is 0, then straight away return that. So let me change this here. So we are using a set now. So let's call it O of n. And it took me some time to figure it out. You may be thinking how I just got it. So why is this? Okay, so we have created a set. If its size is same as this, then that means everything is unique. So n was the size of this vector. So I had to look at the exact test case which was failing. From that I got that there was a large test case where t was 0 and the size of this was very large. So we can return straight away from there if all the elements are unique. Now the solution is accepted. So this is the only change. So there was one test case which was causing this failure. This is kind of cheating here, I would say. But good news is that we are better than 86.43% of the submissions. So that's quite good. And let's try once more. And again we are here, so it's consistent, so it's performing quite good, although it looks O of nk, but it's close to 90% of the submissions, better than. Now let's write the same thing in Python. I don't think it's very hard to replicate. We can directly calculate len of this. And the Python solution is also accepted. So let's look at the time. So we are even better here, close to 99%. So that's excellent.